Hello, everyone. It's Leslie with Parenting Paused. And this week, I have been contemplating expectations. As hard as I work on these and think I don't have expectations, clearly I do, and probably always will, just like you. So I've been looking at how to again, recognize those expectations, especially in relation to my parenting. I have certain expectations of how my daughter is going to be with me, or how she's going to spend her money, or how she's going to do her school. Of course, I have those expectations because I know her capacity, I know her potential, and yet those expectations are mine. And it can get really hard when we have our expectations mixed up with our children's expectations. We can get, or at least I get, disappointed. I can get a little shaming. I can get hard on her. I can, act like she's lazy. I can do all kinds of things in my mind. Of course, I work really hard not to do this, but I think we all do it inside when she tells me certain things, and I have an expectation that she's going to study and get her grades, and then she tells me she's going out with friends and that she's way behind. So of course, all of these things happen inside because my expectations are mine. And of course, just like you, I want my daughter to be happy. I want her to be successful. And yet when I'm not able to really own my expectations, realize they're mine, and that when I hear that her expectations aren't meeting mine or she's not living up to my expectations, then I feel discomfort inside, and that is mine. She is not causing that. She can't fix that. And if I'm not able to work with that, I'm not able to come side by side with her to find out what are her expectations for herself and for her life. And I also, when I have expectations, I try to take over. I know you know this one. I was talking to my daughter the other day, and she was struggling with how to organize her homework. And I was like, well, would you like me to help you? Because I can help you put it in bullet points. And of course she goes, Mom, that doesn't work for me. And I do. I know that doesn't work for her because she always figures it out. So when I pull back my expectation, even that she needs my help or that I know what's better for her, then I can relax. We've talked about this a lot on the podcast. I can surrender my expectations and I can show up to be with my daughter and to really be curious and to tell her that I believe in her. I do. Because if she doesn't do something, it is because of her high values. It's not that she's trying to dash my expectations, right? She knows what my expectations are. Your kids do. As I said, I used to work with at-risk teens, and they would always come into my office, and I would ask them, well, what do you want in your life? And they go, I don't know. I said, well, what do your parents want for you? And blah, 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 blah. I mean, they could just say it all for me. So that was a huge recognition for me at the time that our children they're very clear about our expectations for them. And yet, if you can own your expectations, and of course, they're always usually because we believe in our heart of hearts that if our children do well and if they succeed, they're going to be happy. Right? I mean, that's what we've been taught in our culture. And so then, of course, we get a little anxious and we project onto them what we think they need to do, what the expectations need to be, without owning that these are our expectations and finding out what theirs are. Really sit down with your children if you haven't, even when they're young. You can find out what their high values are. They are not against our values. We're just adults. So, of course, we have different values at different times. But when we project those adult values onto our children and expect them to live into them, let me tell you, if you do that, you're going to miss your child. You're going to miss coming alongside them, supporting them and knowing themselves. supporting them in finding out what their expectations are, what their high values are, what their desires are, their curiosities. Because once you do, like with my daughter, I know that she wants to be in Japan, and she is there in school. So she knows she has to do well in school to stay in Japan. I know this about her. So even though she complains about school or says it's hard, I know what she wants. I know that she can do that. So I let her know that. I know that you want to stay there, so I know you're going to figure this out. She's smart. She's bright. She's resilient. And, of course, she shares with me the struggle. And yours may too. But if I get caught up in that struggle and I want to fix it, just like you might, let me tell you, it can really mess up with your mind, with your expectations. So this week, I'm going to support you in slowing down. If you notice, you are going to have expectations. I've never not. But if you can notice that those are yours and that you might be projecting those, making your children the location of those expectations. And the way you're going to know this is if you feel like disappointment when they don't do certain things, or you feel, you start judging them as lazy or not caring. See if you can pull that back in, reel it in, bring it in, bring it in, bring it in, as I tell myself, and then get clear that, oh, those are my expectations. Whew. So if I can healthily separate out, I can notice what my child's doing, notice their behavior, and then go underneath it to find out what are their expectations. And what kind of support do they need to live into their highest values? All right, lovies, this is a hard one. So I hope you enjoy this week. And yeah, always feel free to reach out. You can go on the website and let me know if you're enjoying Parenting Paused, or any questions or anything you would love for me to talk on. Thank you for listening to this episode of Parenting Paused. If you enjoyed the episode, do me a favor and share it with your mama friends. You can also leave a review wherever you listen, which will support getting the Pure Joy message out. Come on over to the Pure Joy Parenting Practice Facebook page, or join me on Instagram to hear more. And don't forget to download your free copy of the Safe Seat course on the Pure Joy website. And while there, check out the offerings page to go deeper in the Pure Joy work.